welcome to Eyes of Faith with Michael Roy. Thanks for tuning in to the channel today. Today is April 16th, 2024. Hey, again, thanks for tuning in. God bless you. If you haven't subscribed to Eyes of Faith with Michael Roy, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. If you have not subscribed to Eyes of Faith with Michael Roy, please hit the subscribe button. We usually post a video on Wednesday and Friday, but I'm feeling very, very frisky, so I'm just popping video after video here in the last couple of days. Of course, you know what we do here. Nothing is taboo. We talk about politics. We talk about religion. We talk about social issues. Whatever it is, whatever's going to help us all to be well-honed citizens of these United States, we're going to broach that topic. So listen, if any of you got a problem with church and state, of us talking about politics, then this is not the channel for you, because anything is fair game on this channel. Now, again, if you've already subscribed, hey, I want to thank you. And of course, for our new subscribers, we gained 8 new subscribers this past week. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I hope you stay with us and continue to tell other people about Eyes of Faith with Michael Roy. For those of you who have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? If you want somebody to tell you the truth, if you want somebody going to lay it on the line, no matter what, then this is the place for you. Okay? So again, thanks for tuning in. Let me address something before we get to our next video. The video we did, I guess it was this past Friday, on the young lady who gave Trump some love. And we said Trump went to the Atlanta Chick-fil-A and all the young people were hugging him and loving on him and taking pictures, and they just enjoyed him. And I want to thank you all who viewed it, and especially those of you who supported it and who encouraged me. And of course, again, the new subscribers who joined us on this channel to expand our footprint. Now, I am glad. I mean, we got, I think, almost 1,200 views on that particular video. Of course, we want to be able to reach a lot more people than that. I view this as being a 1 million subscriber channel. There's no reason it should not be. So if you're listening, I need you to help me make that happen. I won't forget you, trust me. When this platform grows, I'm going to remember you. I'm going to make sure that you are remembered, that you came alongside us. But let me address the elephant in the room. There were a lot of people, I'm going to say this. I had 52 likes out of 1,200 views. And out of those 1,200 views, there were 52 likes and about 85 people that were absolutely, some of them were ugly. I mean, and I don't know for sure. I can't see skin color through the video, but a lot of them sounded like black people who said I was out of my place. I'm a Uncle Tom. I'm a stupid Negro. I'm a sellout. That I need to do my homework. That I'm being used. How much was I paid to echo Donald Trump's sentiments? How much was I paid to highlight the goodness of Donald Trump? Or am I stupid? Am I naive? Am I gullible to fall for the setup, the scheme of Donald Trump during election season, staging a opportunity to set himself apart from the criminal Joe Biden? First of all, let me tell you who I am. For you black folk, now I want to be nice, for you black people who are saying all those things that I read some of your comments and some of the ugly, tacky things you had to say, but you don't even know me. So for those who don't know me, Michael Wayne Roy, I'm going to fill you in before we get to our video. I was born in Northwest Texas, probably 30 minutes south of Altus, Oklahoma. You know, born to modest means, you know, poor family. My mother had 5 kids, you know, welfare, you know, no great benefits. I don't come from means. Again, we were poor, but we were happy. We loved one another, living in the country. But finally, my mom decided to move to Dallas. And let me tell you about you black folk. as a 9-year-old kid growing up in Northwest Texas, you know, I had relatives that we loved and we just enjoyed ourselves being poor in the country. But we moved to Dallas, to the projects. And I'm going to be honest with you, some of the meanest SOBs I ever met were in Dallas. Growing up poor in the West Dallas projects, I didn't know how to fight. I didn't know nothing. And these Negroes chased me home and beat me up every opportunity they got. I went home regularly with black eyes, big lips, knots on my head. From you black folk who say you love one another. I know you Negroes. I know when you say how much you love one another, it's faux, it's fake, it's pretentious. So you want to get on my channel pretending that you're so offended that I support Donald Trump because we all stick together. Liars. You're a bunch of liars. But anyway, let me get back to my point. We grew up in West Dallas, broke, in the projects, on welfare, getting food stamps, killing rats and roaches on a regular basis just so we wouldn't have our food eaten by the bugs or taken by the rats. So those of you who think you know me, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I'm about. So those comments you made, they're out of place. So you should do your homework. By the grace of God, He gave me a mind that in West Dallas they had a library. I was there on a regular basis. I became an honor roll student in my high school. I was known for being thoughtful. I was known for studying. I was known for doing my homework. Guess what? I left Pinkston High School in West Dallas and went to Texas A&M Commerce, where I gained a business degree in general business. Now, I had a problem with God because we were broke, on welfare, without a dad, without anybody loving on us and caring for us, because the black folks sure didn't care for us. Even some of my relatives didn't care for us. I'm telling you the truth, what you need to hear, because some of you are full of yourself. You're saying, quote unquote, the liberals take care of you. They didn't take care of us. We were broke most of the time, went without. But I got an education. I used my mind, I used my brain, and I got educated by the grace of God. Now, let's move forward. Because I'm young and ignorant, I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I voted for the Democrats. I supported them, but they failed me. On a regular basis, I begin to see how they failed black America. No, I didn't vote for that crook, Barack Obama, because he's a liar, he's a cheat, he's deceitful, and he supports LGBTQ and everything but black people. So for those of you who don't know, I'm giving you an education. So I'm someone who's come up from nothing. And God has made me something. Guess what? By the grace of God, when I turned 30, God called me by His grace to become, what? A pastor. I laughed at it myself. I laughed. I refused to believe that God would call me to be a preacher. But He did. And you can see what I teach and preach every day. So for those of you who malign me, call me out of my name, I'm an Uncle Tom, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm being misled, I'm being fooled, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been preaching the gospel 18 years in September. I've led many men to Christ. On my current job, I minister to CEOs, executives, managers, people with means more than you. And I do that because God has called me by His grace. Now what God has called me to is to help protect black America from the ignorance of the Democratic Party and people like you who don't know anything. Many of you black Americans have been misled, been deceived by the system. I posted the other day, said many black people are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome because the people who enslaved us, people who produced Jim Crow and all these racist systems against us, they're the Democrats. They're the Democratic Party. They've misled you. They've misguided you. And many of you follow them right today. So, to say what I'm saying, all that I produce here is not from ignorance, but from learning, from watching, from listening, and then being able to make wise, godly decisions. So when I became a conservative, it was because my eyes were wide open, my ears were open. I discerned those who were on my side. I'm not going to go any longer with that. I just want to expose much of the foolishness of the black people who responded to my last video. Now, what I'm going to share is a video of the young woman who gave Donald Trump a hug and who helped to create that opportunity for Donald Trump, because he will be the next president. He will be the 47th president. Her name is Mikaela Montgomery, a bright young woman with a bright future. And we'll see her in the next few minutes espousing why she supports Donald Trump and why she helps to educate other young blacks to support Donald Trump. See, her eyes are open. She knows who's really on her side, unlike many of you who responded to me in such a vile and negative fashion. Well, I'm not going to delay. I want you all to meet Mikaela Montgomery, and I want you to listen, especially you young people, because sometimes you can't teach old dog new tricks. There are a lot of black people who are stuck where they are and refuse to open up their eyes, their ears, and to listen. But Mikaela Montgomery and many of the young people who follow her, their eyes are open. And I think many Democrats are upset because Donald Trump's strength is growing. Not because of Donald Trump, because God is allowing young people, young black people, to wake up to see the opportunities that Donald Trump is going to help create for them. I'm not going to delay. Let's go straight to the video.
Unforgettable moment on the campaign trail for one voter who got a big hug from Trump at an Atlanta Chick-fil-A while he met with supporters. Watch.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you. Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
Look at the joy. Here to tell us about it is that young woman herself, Mikaela Montgomery. She's also the founder of a grassroots political group to conserve the culture. Mikaela, I've been waiting for this interview all morning.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
So thanks so much for joining us. So you told the president when you were hugging him, I don't care what the media says, we support you. Tell me what you meant by that.
I am so glad that is the first question you asked me. So, of course, in the excitement of everything, I wasn't able to really relay my message, but the general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU campuses or walk around the ABC community, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcome. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite. He was very welcome. People were excited to see him. People showed up in support of him. And people, of course, were from all 4 institutions within the AUC, the local HBCU community in Atlanta. And they all showed up in support of him. So it's actually kind of crazy to see people in an uproar when all 4 institutions were legitimately represented and all 4 institutions were represented by said students who wanted to support President Trump.
You know, Mikaela,
and I appreciate that we were able to not only let him know that regardless of what social media says, you know, I know they're trying to make us think we're supposed to hate you, but we don't. And additionally, it was a learning experience for my students because they were able to see and experience firsthand how the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person. Because, like I said, to think that these students who attend these illustrious institutions aren't smart enough to make their own decisions, so much so that they would only show support for Trump because he bought chicken sandwiches and milkshakes.
It's offensive.
That in itself is the most disturbing part of it all, especially when you think about the fact that it was mainly urban media outlets that were doing everything in their power to turn other black people against these young black kids who simply were not shy to explore other options.
It's so incredible, and I think you hit it on the head. By the way, the former president, gave a lot of funding to HBCUs. One of the highlights of my childhood was my HBCU tour to figure out what college I wanted to go to. But tell me about the former president and his policies. What is it about him that is gravitating these young people toward the president. And a lot of people, traditionally, Republicans don't do well in Black America. But a lot of young Black Americans like the former president. What is it about him?
I think, and this is a sentiment I get a lot coming from the young people themselves, is that they feel like he's honest. They feel like this is somebody who, while we might not agree with how he says things, how he goes about things, at least he's telling us what it is. We don't feel like this is a snake in the grass waiting for his chance to bite us. This is somebody who's telling us, this is what my plan is, here's how I plan to execute it, here's the people involved, and here's how you can get involved. So they just feel like he's more relatable. And I don't say that to say that, like, you know, they all relate to him. But again, he gives you that relatable feeling to where it's like, hey, I'm just like you. You know me. This is what you said you wanted. Here's what I'm going to try to do about it. They really feel like this is somebody who's talking to them and not just saying what they want to hear.
Such a good point. Mikaela, what has Biden done?
Newspaper carrier. Many of you know the Dallas Times Herald. Well, I threw the Dallas Times Herald newspaper from the 7th grade to the 9th grade. That's when I learned about Donald Trump. And I used to dream about being a big-time businessman. Yes, I have history with Donald Trump. So I'm not going to hate him like many of you, which is foolish. But back to my story. By the grace of God, he gave me a mind, helped me to educate myself. And now, look where I am. I'm doing a video in my office, in my $500,000 plus home, in my gated community that I protect with a 9mm, with a 38 Smith & Wesson, with a 22 HR. And if YouTube helps me, I will purchase my first AR-15 because I'm going to protect my family. Unlike many of you fools who's going to allow them to take your guns. Well, they'll take my guns out of my cold, dead hands. So Mikaela Montgomery, keep on encouraging young people, young Black men and women, to support freedom, to support the Constitution, to support Donald J. Trump, because you're leading them in the right way. I'm saddened for many of our highly educated Black sisters and brothers. Many of you have doctor's degrees, you have master's degrees. Some of you are making $150,000, $200,000, even $300,000 a year, and you're supporting this foolishness. They don't care about you. They laugh at you. When you talk about marrying their daughters and their sons, see how they feel. I'm telling you, you're making a bad decision. Freedom knows no color. Freedom knows no bounds. The Constitution that was established by our forefathers, yes, old white men from Europe who feared God. Yes, they weren't perfect. Yes, the Indians were killed. Yes, there was slavery. It's all true. But I'm not on welfare. I've got a great salary. My wife has a great salary. We have a church. We give. We go to funerals. We pray for people. We help people. Unlike many of you Black people I've met who just talk. You talk about what you love. You talk about how much you give. You go to church to show off your cars, show off your outfits. I know you. I know many of you. You are frauds. You are fakes. That's why many of you hate Donald Trump, because it shows up your fraud, your fraudulent lifestyle. I'm going to end it right there. Hey, those of you who know Donald Trump is a real deal, please like, subscribe, and share. For all those fools out there who are deceiving themselves about the Democratic Party, let's pray for them. If you like this video, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Anyway, God bless you and God keep you. Hey, until next time, y'all have a blessed day. In Jesus' name.